All right, Caitlin,
Hi.
welcome back.
Yep, this is my second Soft White Underbelly interview, and when I did my first one, that was the very first time I had ever spoken publicly about what happened to me.
You said there was some development since then, right?
Yeah, there has been. Just for a recap for people that are seeing this for the first time and not the first one, I was raped by a man named Kevin Ahern when I was 14. He was an adult.
How old was he, roughly?
He was roughly like in his 30s, although he lied about his age at the time. But he raped me around January of 2011. And I don't know, did I already say his name? Kevin Ahern?
You
right?
did now.
Yeah, okay. Because I want to make sure, people were really confused last time with why I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't mention his name last time.
I was very confused about my case and what I could share and what I couldn't share. But ultimately, once I talked with the DA again, they said this is public information, so I can share anything that's pretty much public. So
what have you learned since then? That was just probably 6 months ago or so.
Since a lot has happened, I started learning to start fighting in doses because, ever since I did the Soft White Underbelly interview, I started, sharing on social media and telling my story and connecting with other survivors. And I learned that I can't do this every day, every hour of the day. It is so triggering. I know other survivors that take breaks doing this or break away from it completely, from speaking out. And my goal is to continue for the rest of my life to speak about this because stuff like this needs to be talked about. And yeah, fuck, what was the question?
There are some developments in your case.
So I've learned to fight in doses and take it a step at a time, maybe take an hour a day or a couple hours a day and then move on to something else because this can't be my whole life. I have a life to get to rather than just focusing 100% on my rape every day. So yes, there have been some developments since the Soft White Underbelly case, Soft White Underbelly interview. And so that aired last September in 2023. And a couple months later, I get a DM on my TikTok, and it's this girl asking about my case. And I end up finding out, she ends up telling me that she is another victim of Kevin Ahern. And I was like, oh God, I don't know. That was crazy. But ultimately, she wanted to help and talk to the investigators on my case and everything. So I kept calling them and telling them, look, are you going to look into this? And, I kept giving her information. She let me give all her information to the DA and everything. And finally, I got a hold of them again, which, by the way, these people are so hard to talk to and get a hold of. Most of the time you call, they don't answer. So finally, I get a hold of him back in January or February, and I find out that my case has been closed this whole time. There's no investigators. There's nobody looking into his whereabouts. The only thing that's active is his warrant, and that's it. But nobody is looking for him. So, ever since I found that out, I've been, reacting to it. I've had my, nightly anxiety attacks. I was taken back to, where I was a little bit in a dark place when I was first processing it and processing my rape. And, it's only taken until this, last week, a week and a half after I've made some changes to my health and stuff like that, and really, worked on the emotional stuff that you deal with when you hear stuff like this. And luckily, things have really calmed down this last week. But, I'm in the middle of moving halfway across the country. My brain's not working. I I have 2 back-to-back interviews. I got another one this week, and it's just crazy and hectic.
So what are your hopes? That somehow this guy gets caught, or what are you hoping?
Yeah, so, I mean, after learning that nobody's looking for him, I think the only thing I can gather from this is if nobody's doing anything, then I guess I have to do something, right? So I've bounced ideas in my head. I've been trying to think of, what I can do. I've always wanted to hire a private investigator, but I never had the money to do that. I'm moving to the Midwest, and, that will help me financially a lot. But I created a GoFundMe for this specific purpose. It's like something like Find Kevin Ahern and Help His Victim Heal. And it's a GoFundMe where I basically just say, pretty much all of the money is going to go to launching an independent investigation to find him. However that may be, if I have to hire private investigators, if I can get hooked up with any other people that can help me that may have been former law enforcement or anything like that. I'm looking into all my options. I'm not trying to ask for money or force people to give me money, because the words of encouragement and the words of love that I've gotten is simply enough, but I am in the position where, I'm going to ask for help, because this is for the community. This isn't just for me. This is for his 2 other victims. If you remember, he's got the prior case before mine. He's got my case. They're both guilty, of course. And then we have victim number 3, which, I don't know what is going to come of that. But that's my goal right now. And then any of the leftover money for the GoFundMe will go to like my continued healing and my therapy and things like that, because you can only imagine how much money I've put into healing to be able to be this like high functioning, to be honest. Like when I did my first interview, I was so timid and I was so terrified, but right now I'm like fired up, and I'm done with, I have to bring my real personality out there and be myself, because if I don't, I think, I don't know, people had a range of responses to the last interview. People called me fat, which, by the way, I wasn't always fat, you motherfuckers. When I was being raped at 14, I was 98 pounds, so you can go fuck yourselves with that. I started gaining weight after my dad died in 2019, and after I found out that he absconded, because they never called me and told me he absconded. I had to find that shit out on my own. I trusted the DA. I just wanted to move on with my life after the trial was over, so I never looked into it. But then finally I got a weird feeling after my dad died, and I looked into it, and I found out that Kevin absconded at that point. So back in 2019, yeah, I gained some weight, and luckily, doing the soft white underbelly interview kicked me in the butt a little bit, I'll admit. And, I've been making a lot healthier choices, but that's for me. That's not for you guys, okay? Most of my life, I was an average weight or skinny. So, being fat is like new to me. Sorry.
When something like this happens to a 14-year-old person, I think there are ramifications in all different areas of your life.
Oh yeah. Like if you even wanted, even just from the weight perspective, I was skinny after I was raped, trying to keep it a secret. And then once I started processing it, I lost even more weight. And then in 2019, it kind of switched, and then I gained weight. And then on top of that, you got all the emotional effects, all the PTSD and all the stuff that you have to deal with, that because rape changes the trajectory of your life. And I don't think people realize that, Another thing too, a lot of people didn't believe me. And to that, I tell you, the proof is in the pudding. Go look for yourself. This is a public case now. You can look it up on the internet. You can go get the court documents like I had to go to get them and buy them, because
he's a Caucasian man?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
You don't remember?
Oh, no, I do remember. It's just that, like, I don't know his, like, history, like, if he has any sort of, like, any other...
No, but he doesn't look
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's not Asian.
He doesn't look, anything. He's pretty much white. No other race that I know of is what I mean. But he's white presenting. As far as I know, he's, that. At this time, he would be around 50 years old. I have some idea of maybe where he might be. I think he's either in California or I think he's in Mexico, because in the very first case, not my case, but victim number 1, he fled to Mexico then. And the Mexican authorities found him and brought him back. So I kind of think, maybe he did the same thing again. Maybe he had help. I don't know. It's very fishy that, during the trial, the DA even approached the judge and said, look, he's a flight risk. I want him in custody for the remainder of the trial. The judge said no. It's kind of weird to me. I don't know, but I'm not trying to insinuate anything. But, I've always wondered if there was people involved in helping him get to where he got to be and dealing with what I had to deal with, So it's just a fucking shit show.
I'm sorry you had to deal with this. How old are you now?
I'm 27 now.
27. And you're working?
Now that I'm moving to the Midwest, right now I'm not working. I'm just focusing on selling the house, and then we're going to go over there, and then I'll probably start a little new life. I'll, look for my employment, and I'm going to continue, doing what I'm doing on the side, which is connecting with other survivors. And, after the Soft White Underbelly, I feel like I kind of got a calling to kind of do this, maybe, I don't know, maybe as a job or what, or on the side or something, but I gained so much more clarity in what I want to do in life almost, and I really want to help other survivors. I mean, I want to get laws passed. I mean, luckily there's other states that are passing the death penalty for pedophiles, but the thing is, I think, for the states and for the government that doesn't believe in the death penalty, what I think should happen is there needs to be a federal law. If you're a pedophile, life in prison without parole. That's it. That's what you get for ruining somebody's life. Because you shouldn't be able to go back out there and ruin somebody else's life again and again and again. Because that's what happens. These people are repeat offenders. There's pretty much no rehabilitation for them. There's never been any good enough research for that. So at least in my eyes, they're repeat offenders, because when you talk to victims and when you talk to actual law enforcement who is in the vicinity of these pedophiles all the time, then you realize that these people don't just do it once and then go on with their lives. I mean, they keep on doing it.
Yeah, I mean, your life's been affected in so many ways, I'm sure.
Yeah, but at the same time,
you carry this anger with you.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of anger. I keep that anger alive because, to me, it fuels me to be able to have some motivation to do this type of shit, because when I go on and share my story, when I talk to other survivors, how can you not be angry at what's happened to you and what's happened to other people, and just how this society and how this country works and how this country treats pedophiles compared to the way they treat victims. So, of course, I will probably hold on to that anger for the rest of my life. I don't let it consume me, but I do let it motivate me.
Yeah, if you can channel it a little bit, that's the best you can do, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Caitlin. Well, thank you for giving us the update.
Thank you.
I hope you're happy in the Midwest, and I hope we get this guy off the streets, because it's probably not. Yeah. I doubt he's doing a whole lot of good for society.
Yeah, I doubt it too. So hopefully next time I come on here, I have some good news for you guys. So
that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, Caitlin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.